Hey, what's up guys? All right, so in this YouTube video, I want to talk about a very common mistake a lot of new apartment locators or new real estate agents that want to leverage apartment locating make. All right, and this is a massive one, okay? Because unlike other mistakes, if you make this mistake, it could almost guarantee that you're going to fail in the apartment locating industry. So the reason I came up with this video topic is because a lot of students have been in situations like this because they made a mistake, and we find ourselves kind of constantly recommending the same advice, and we see people that are new to real estate in general and to locating do this over and over again. So hopefully making a YouTube video will actually help with at least making you aware of the mistake and then what you can do instead. Like, also we're going to talk about the solution, so that way you don't try to locate, because of course we all understand that apartment locating is awesome. It's an unsaturated niche right now in real estate, and it has been for a very long time, because it allows us to work remote as real estate agents and close clients and receive commissions from apartment buildings without any paperwork, which is almost really kind of unheard of in real estate. Like, where have you heard of a realtor that can work and do their job and close clients and build relationships with no paperwork? I mean, it was almost impossible before locating started, because naturally, your clients as a traditional realtor, they need a mortgage, they need to fill an application for that. You need to go show them properties. A lot of the homes and resale homes are on lock boxes, so it's like impossible to even work remote when you have to go show them houses. And because these people take buying a house very seriously, because it's the #1 asset that they own. It's very expensive. It's usually people's biggest purchase in their whole lives, right? So it makes sense for them to meet with you in person, for you to show them houses in person that are on lockbox. So naturally, you can't really work remote as a realtor. Okay, so that sucks that you can't work remote. And also there's a ton of paperwork, right? You have to go inspect a property, work with third-party companies to do a number of inspections. Then you got to work with a third-party title company at closing. And you got to get all these signatures on buyer representation agreements or listing agreements, and then offers are back and forth via writing. I mean, there's just so much paperwork as a realtor. So obviously when people find out about, hey, you can be a real estate agent, use your license and just help people rent apartments with no paperwork, and you can just take Zoom calls, and as long as you're friendly and remind these clients to write your name and company on their rental application, you just bill them. Right? So obviously it's a very attractive model. And what's interesting is that if you Google the average salary of an apartment locator, it's higher now than a realtor. And it's funny because ever since I started posting on YouTube and really spreading the word as like the only content maker of apartment locating, 3 years ago, when you would go to Google Trends and type in apartment locating, there was like 0 search result history. So we finally, broke that because of our channel, etc. But it's really interesting that just how little known this business is. I mean, there's less than 5,000 active apartment locators compared to 1.5 million active realtors. It's nuts, right? So earlier this morning, I had a student reach out again. I mean, and this has happened to us dozens of times, right? He reached out and he's like, hey, I'm with my friend. He's my sponsoring broker because I know him, but he does traditional real estate. He doesn't really know about apartment locating, but he's sponsoring me and giving me almost 100% split. I'm working under him. Guys, the problem with doing this when you enter the real estate industry is that even though you might know a broker, it might be your friend, yet you guys have history and they're willing to give you a great split, if you do your own marketing and then your own collections, guys, it's never a good idea to do your own collections in this business. It's really like the only way you'll start with locating and fail miserably. And the reason is because as an apartment locating company or a brokerage firm, if you want to be able to invoice apartment management companies, there's over 300 in Texas alone. Okay, if you want to be able to invoice them and get paid on time within a month, right, like you're supposed to, you are technically supposed to, as the sponsoring brokerage firm, right, provide a lot of documents like your broker license, your W-9, your proof of errors and omissions insurance, all of these documents, and fill out always a different vendor application form, okay? So you have to provide all of that to the building first, and then pay the $120 a year fee to be vendor verified, right? Wait for that pending approval process. It might take a week or two, all right? And then on top of that, you know, we understand that we can easily and simply generate invoices through our database. Like, it's really not hard to generate an invoice. I get that. Like, you just go to your database, log in. This is like the only paid tool you even need as an apartment locator, right? So you go here to like leads and more, and then like new invoice, and like super easy, you know, you just like put the apartment name here, put your client name, put the rental amount, like $1,500. Let's say they're paying 150%, which is typical. So then that's a $2,250, you know, invoice. This is so common. I'll show you a bunch of these properties that pay well. And then you put the unit number, whatever it is, 1203B, right? So it's super easy to, let's pretend we're like doing an invoice to Highline. Boom, Highline. All right, the client name is John Doe, and that's it. Oh, the move-in day, that's the last thing. So let's say they're moving in the 28th of September. Boom. That's it. I just created an invoice in like less than a minute. So, right, it's really easy to save that and then have an invoice. But guys, this is why a lot of locators are like, I'll just do my own collections. Like Pierre teaches us the database, it takes them less than 60 seconds to create an invoice. Yes, that's true. That is true. So as long as you call and confirm that your client's approved, it takes like seconds to make an invoice. Okay? So it's not creating the invoice and emailing it that's hard. The thing is, if you want to get paid faster and on time, you still have to be, your broker has to be a verified vendor with the fees paid, application on file, all the documents. And then on top of that, guys, these different management companies all use different systems, right? Like there's like 6 or so or more different invoicing systems that even after you create an invoice, you have to upload them to the right system depending on what the apartment uses in order to get paid in a speedy way, right? Like there's like Net Cafes, one system, RMIS, right? OPS. There's a lot of different systems, right? It's not all the same cookie cutter process with every apartment. So even though I understand why it makes sense that like, oh, you can do your own collections, it's easy, right? It's really not, right? Because you have to follow up on these invoices weekly. Sometimes management companies get bought out. You got to pay all these fees for over 300 companies. And if you're trying to do collections and like your buddy is sponsoring you, and they don't really do apartment locating and they're not set up as a vendor, or you're with a traditional firm like Remax, Keller Williams, all great firms, but they don't specialize in locating, guys, the time it's going to take you to go back and forth and go, here's it to my supervisor, and then like, hey supervisor, can you fill out this weird application to be a vendor and pay $120 and give them all the documents, and then wait and then follow up on that pending process. And then once that's done, supervisor at Keller Williams, do you mind taking the invoice, uploading it through their weird portal where you have to make an account on OPS? Like, by the time you do that for every single new property and every single lease, guys, that's a whole full-time job. You're going to do so much work. And even if they get that set up, right, for each invoice, guys, you're going to get paid another month or 2 months or 3 months later than what you should. So the problem is, if you end up doing 15 or 20 grand in apartment locating because you refer, 5 or 10 people over to certain apartments, and the commissions are what, $1,500 average, right? You can make 20 grand easily, right? I understand that, but if it's gonna take you an additional month to collect, you're no longer making 20K a month, even though you closed 20K a month. Now you're making 10K a month because it's taking you an additional month to just do everything, right? And more work. So it's not all about, like, we know we can do 20, 30. I mean, we had a student in San Antonio that is at 44K a month. That's abnormally high. That is abnormally high. But we know we can do 20, 30, 40K months. But the point I'm trying to make is that if it's going to take you a whole nother month to go back and forth, do all this work, check on things, then you're at half of that, right? So it's all about picking a brokerage firm that specializes in apartment locating, right? So you can get paid on time. And you want to make sure that they have a couple staff on collections handling your collections for you, catching management changes, following up with different emails, different account payable systems that might have changed within last week, right? All of these things do happen. And the problem is that if you don't follow up on all of your invoices every single week, guys, they might just change a whole account payable systems, different email address. And while you think you're waiting for your month to get paid, things could change. And if you don't catch it, you're gonna have to start waiting a whole nother month from the beginning, right? So it's never a good idea to try to do your own collections or like work with a friend that's a broker that's not set up with locating, or work at like a traditional real estate firm, because guys, it's not viable. You want to work at an apartment locating firm that they know the industry, they know a lot of the property managers already, they know the systems that they have to upload invoices to really get paid on time. And then the cool thing about, you know, choosing an apartment locating focused firm is that chances are they're going to give you free leads, right? So a lot of our students that are new and they sign up for our ALM, the Apartment Locating Masterclass program, right? We tell them, hey, choose an apartment locating focused firm and close all the free leads that your broker is going to provide for you just by being an agent under their locating firm, right? Close all those leads. They're probably going to give them to you for free while you're going through our program, and then working on setting up our superior systems where we can teach you how to market for yourself, create ads, how to find deals. Like, as you're going through our program, at least work the free leads and close them, right? You can't do that if you're with your friend that's a broker that doesn't give you leads, and you can't do that if you're with a traditional firm like Keller Williams. Even though it's a fantastic real estate firm, I have a lot of respect for them, they're not going to give you apartment locator leads because they're not doing the model. They just don't care about it, right? And so you can't go to these firms and expect to have a good time with locating, right? So what I recommend is that you pick a local firm that truly specializes in apartment locating, okay? That's already vendor verified, check for that. And that they have a couple staff on collections, because so they'll handle your collection, okay? And then work all their free leads while you learn from the best people in the industry, which is me and my team, on how to do this with a digital marketing approach. That's the whole thing, right? So hopefully this helps you guys. There's a lot of potential and opportunity in this business, but you have to set yourself up right, okay? We'll teach you all the back-end systems, how to market and how to work efficiently, but then the other part is choosing the right local brokerage firm that will supply you some free leads while you're learning from us and do your collections for you. Okay, so if you guys are interested in maybe speaking to my team, seeing how we can support you with the program, we also have recommendations on firms to choose. We're not even affiliated with any of them. I have identified them as good firms. So if you guys do need help, or you want to speak to my team, then click the link below, get in touch with us, at least join our free Facebook group. There's tons of support in there, right? And free leads that we exchange. I'm actually on the Facebook group right now. It's called Apartment Locating School. It's free to join. It is a private group, but it is free to join. So if you are a real estate agent, or you're thinking about becoming one to leverage the easiest model in real estate, which is being an apartment locator, join the free Facebook group, follow the YouTube, and click the link below this video if you'd like to learn more or reach out to my team to see how we're doing locating now in late 2023 and 2024. Okay, so click the link below, reach out to my team if we can help you. It's literally free to talk to us, and I hope this was helpful. We'll see you guys on the next one. Woohoo!